Welcome to the Brad and Taylor Show. Today we have Jesse Jatoft.
You're listening to The Brad and Taylor Show, a podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to pursue their passions. We're sitting down with some of the best to learn how they got started and some lessons they learned along the way.
Hey Jesse, how's it going?
Hey, another beautiful day. How we doing?
We're
Doing
good.
good. Well, let's get this started. Tell us a little bit about you. What do you actually do?
So my name is Jesse Jatoft. I'm a realtor with EXP in the Southwest Michigan area. Been doing it for about 2 years now, and it's been absolutely wonderful.
That's awesome. So what did you do before real estate?
Before real estate, so I've had many jobs. I was a roofer, an electrician. I've done a lot, but the most recent job I actually currently still work is I manage a Battle Creek business. It's a local vape shop.
Nice. So that's probably how you got into real estate, by all your the roofing and the electrician, and you're like, well, I guess I might as well be your agent.
A lot of background.
Yeah. That work is not as fun. Let me just tell you that. I'd much rather be on this side.
Yeah. So when did you decide to get your license?
So that's a funny story. When I was in college, I basically had to take this class, and it was, telling you, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? And I had no idea. I'm kind of a really indecisive person, so I was kind of all over the place. I just knew it was somewhere in sales. And so I had actually made a presentation of, I couldn't choose one. So I chose two. I chose real estate and insurance. And I wasn't sure where I was going to go. My grandfather actually retired as the president of an insurance company out in California, and he was very successful and, lived a great life. So I kind of always seen that and was going to take that route. But I don't know, real estate just spoke to me. And so I met a gentleman who was rather young. He was doing really well for himself. And I was also looking for a house myself at that time. And I'm, looking everywhere. I couldn't find anything. And I'm like, well, why is there nothing on the market? And they're like, well, realtors kind of get the first look at them. And I'm like, well, what does it take to be a realtor? And so that began the journey. And I personally took my courses online. I know there's, ones you can do in town that take like 3 days, but I wanted to take it at my own pace so that I could really lock in all that information and just kind of, go day by day. It worked really well for me. It took me about 6 months because I really wanted to, take a lot of notes, and because there's a lot of information. I mean, you learn a lot. I don't know how people do it in 3 days. That's just nuts.
Yep. That's awesome. I like it. So,
take us to your first transaction. After you got all your testing, everything was out of the way, you got licensed. How was your first transaction, and when did that come to play? How long before you got that first transaction?
Oh man. Okay. So I jumped in, I want to say it was like January, February. Now, when I hopped in, it was like right as the pandemic came. So It was a beautiful time. Everybody was locked down. You really couldn't show houses. So it was a little crazy in the beginning, but it gave me more time to learn, and get a little bit more understanding of what I was dealing with. And so my first actual sale was a young woman who was buying her first home. I was very thankful to be able to help her. Everything actually went very smoothly. I think it was due to me taking that extra time to really just make sure that I knew what I was doing. I felt competent. But my first sale was, I'd have to say probably, I think it was June. So, roughly 6 months after I got licensed and everything. And then from there, it just kind of kept rolling. It was really awesome.
And when you started out, you were solo, right? Did you join a team or were you solo?
So I am solo. Jumping into EXP, though, I will say I did. We're not a team as far as like split profits or anything like that, but we're a team as far as like I was paired with great leadership, that any questions or any, brick walls that I ran into, my team was right there to help me knock it down. I've never felt like I was, like lost or, alone or anything like that. I always had somebody I could just call that, has years of experience, and that, takes a lot of stress off, made it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, definitely. Was there any advice that you got from anybody from that team who maybe you could go to with a transaction that you had a question on, or anything like that? Anything that came up you had a question on? Is there any advice that person or anybody on your team had gave you when you first started?
Oh yeah. So there's a lot. The main ones I'll touch base on is be thankful, be grateful. And, a lot of people, they always ask, how are you so happy? Because I live a day-to-day life just, smiling and grateful. And I feel though, coming from a place of gratitude is the best way to do that. If you wake up daily and you're thankful, you will never, you're not angry that you're without. You're thankful for what you have. You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
that was a great piece of advice that my mentor had given me, is just, be thankful. And if you help enough people get what they want, you will get what you want.
Yep.
That was another good one. And, I mean, don't be a secret agent. When I first got in, I was kind of like, Mr. Secret Agent Man. I was kind of hiding in the back corner. I
Yeah.
hear someone talking about real estate. I'm like looking over there. I'm like, I know what they're talking about, but I don't know if I should dive in. And that is probably the greatest piece of advice I could give to somebody that's just hopping in, is you need to be shouting from the rooftops that you are a realtor. You need to call your friends and family. You need to reach out to your sphere of influence that already know and love you, and you need to leverage that. Let them know, hey, I'm in the business. If you know anybody looking to buy or sell real estate, please give me a call. I'm available. Here's my phone number. Don't hide away. You're not going to get business if you're not talking. So that's the biggest thing, is just build relationships, talk to people, get yourself out there, and just help as many people as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah. Over the last couple of years, what is the worst showing or property that you have been to? Any of them that pop into your mind right away?
Yeah, I've seen some stuff. Yeah, the foreclosures are usually the worst ones. You just never know what people do when they're leaving there. I got two that pop into mind. One of them was literally decayed. I was worried about walking through this building. I'm like, I don't know, these stairs don't quite look safe. But we got upstairs. There was no walls. I mean, it's just insulation. There's like feces. I think there was a couple of like decayed dead animals in there. It was pretty bad. Just stuff everywhere. That was pretty rough. And then the other one I was in, I mean, that one had a roof caving in, it had black mold. I mean, you name it, it was there. It was rough. It's kind of one of those houses you just kind of walk into, hand sanitizer ready, and you just kind of wait. But yeah, those two are the worst. Now, I've seen some pretty cool stuff too. Thinking of the coolest things, I've seen a bomb shelter. And so me being,
Oh, wow.
25 years old, yeah, showing this house, and we look in the backyard, and there's like a hill, and I'm like, well, what's up with that? And there's like a door going into this hill, and I'm like, I
Gotta see
don't know.
that.
Never seen that before. And we walk in, and it was like, yeah, like a 1940 or 50 bomb shelter. It was really cool. I don't usually see things like that, so that was pretty unique. And some weird stuff you see being a realtor is, sometimes I've walked into like an attic, and someone's got a creepy doll hidden up there, and that's like the first thing that meets you as you come up into the darkness, and that'll give you a little bit of a hard jump.
Like they purposely place it there so as people walk up. I
feel so. I mean, there's no reason you should just have this creepy doll sitting there.
Right.
I feel like that is directly for, people showing your house. I'm like, yeah, that's funny.
Surprise.
That's awesome. That's too funny. So let's say you had to start all over today with all the knowledge you have now. How would you spend your first $1,000?
Well, so with real estate, you got to be careful, because you got to make sure you have these fees covered, as far as your MLS fees, your broker fees, things like that. So like personally, if I started out with $1,000, my first thing would be buy real estate signs. You need signs in the front of people's houses so that you can sell their property. Of course, you need business cards as well. Now, EXP does offer like a free 1,000 or 2,000 business cards when you first join with them. So that was pretty awesome. Out of pocket, I would say initially you're going to need signs, and then I would just save. You always want to have, a savings account and, financial backing, just in case, say something doesn't work out, you don't get a closing for a couple of months. You want that background there to not only help your bills, but to be able to manage your fees, as far as to be able to continue doing real estate, because that is one of the things about real estate, is it is a roller coaster. Sometimes you are on the top fill dragster, you're all the way on top, you're on top of the world, and you feel like you are unstoppable, and then it drops down, and you go a couple of months, and even a month without getting paid. I think we all know what that could be like. And you start to think back like, oh my God, maybe I'm not on top of the world, but then you hit that pole again, and you go straight back up to the top. So it is quite a game. It's a lot of fun though. It's never a boring time. You're never kind of, just living that day-to-day mundane life. You're always kind of either excited or nervous, you're not sure what's going on, but I wouldn't change it. I think it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. What kind of business books have you read that one of your favorite?
So I am, again, a younger cat, and I'm kind of on the go often. I don't find too much time to read. When I do, it's usually the Bible. That I find a lot of wisdom from, like the Book of Proverbs. That is one of my favorite pieces to go to whenever I need guidance, or just kind of need that push. But I do listen to a lot of podcasts, and so business podcasts that I could recommend would be Dave Ramsey. He's really good. I'm a huge fan of Not Being in Debt, and so I love his teachings on that. I do really like Grant Cardone. He just partnered with EXP, so it's really cool to be able to see that inside knowledge help directly to my business. And Tom Ferry's really good too. If you just need some motivation, you just need somebody that's going to get you pumped up, get you out there, and get you wanting to sell some stuff. Tom Ferry's a good guy that you could listen to, because he's pretty out there.
I like it. That's awesome. How can people get a hold of you?
So I can be reached on most social media platforms through, Facebook Messenger, text message, phone call. You can call me or text me at 269-967-3524. My email is jessejatoft@gmail.com. You can also shoot me an email there. Any way you can get a hold of me, I'll be there.
Sweet. I like it. That's awesome. Hey, thanks for coming on and sharing your story with us today.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks for having me, guys. I hope you enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.
You too.
Hello?
Hello? Are you
Hello?
there? Are you there? Hey guys, we just wanted to thank you for listening on either podcast or on the YouTube video here. If you guys wanted to subscribe, that would be awesome. That would mean a lot to us. And if you guys could give us a 5-star review as well, that would be amazing. And we'll see you on the next one.
See ya.